JT, is it Tuesday already?
It's Tuesday, my friend. Zero hour
What time
today.
is it on Tuesday?
It is 10 a.m. 10 a.m. on a Tuesday over here.
In the Midwest. Hey, I'd say it's 0 hour time. Wherever you
0
are.
hour o'clock.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there you
absolutely. Man, it's an interesting day here. We got a
How
lot of
about it?
news. We
How
got a lot
about
of
it? Yeah,
news, but we
yeah.
got some red too. We got that macro overhang with the bond yields going up, kind of bringing tech down. But on the other side of things, we got some new subcontract wins. We got some new acquisitions for manufacturing, which is interesting, with a couple of things going on with potential tariffs for drones. So, yeah, it's an interesting little day here. A good day for 0 hour today to occur, so we can break some of the stuff down, get some thoughts, take a look at maybe what our positions are adding today in terms of infrastructure for their companies, and have a little discussion. How are you doing today? How's it going over there?
Hey, it's going well. It's going well. Good news today for two of our watch companies came out, right? Safe Pro Group and ONDS. So
Yeah.
hopefully we come away with a Safe Pro hat and we can wear both hats on the same show next time we get news for both of them on the same day. But yeah, man, good stuff. I think good stuff.
Yeah, and on top of that, I also did see that there was an agreement with Copen. Copen and Fabric AI launched a joint steering committee led by Michael Murray, which I'm happy that he's leading that, as the neural IO industry engagement expands. So that's just another mini catalyst over there too. I would say, not as impactful as what we're seeing with just in terms of punch, right? Instant punch with this manufacturing company ONDS acquired, and then also this Safe Pro Group subcontract, but interesting nonetheless.
Right. Well, two things on the Safe Pro side. It's a new customer. It seemed like every customer they had was always U.S. Army this, U.S. Army that, and the State Department is going to have a big role to play in getting the reconstruction funds and processes in place and projects awarded. And none of the reconstruction is going to happen until the threats are removed. All the unexploded ordnance. Saw a new one. Well, let me have to come back to that, but a new acronym in that Safe Pro announcement, basically for the remnants of war, right? This whole threat detection automated software is going to have a really big role to play, because none of that reconstruction is going to happen until the threats are removed and we minimize or mitigate or hopefully eliminate any civilian casualties, deaths or maims, just by trying to rebuild areas that have been destroyed by the war. So that's a real good news, that State Department link on that Safe Pro news or announcement. And then on the ONDS side, right, everybody's trying to build out new factories. ONDS says, no, man, we need one ready to go. We don't have time for the engineering and the permits and pouring all the concrete and getting power run to it and worrying about all the the regulatory stuff. Let's get one that's already proven, tried and true, up and running, ready to go. And so I think that was a real smart move right there. We were just discussing, of course, everything on this, every move they make now is all about whether it's dilution, smolution, dilution. But I guess there's points on both sides of that. But in the overall scheme of things, it's pretty small in my view, just 3.8 million shares. What's that when we're looking at a float, at $500 million. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's a very polarizing situation, because so you have two groups of people, right? So you have the group of people that got in maybe under like $3, some of them like us getting in near the bottom around like 67, 70 cents. We are, we rode a very golden elevator up, right? It was a great journey, getting all the way to the top and coming back down a little bit, which we're fine with because we're still up hundreds of percent, right? But then you have this other
makes
group
it easy to hold on. I'll admit, right?
Exactly. And then you have another group that came in probably, above 10, right at 10, that are currently sitting in the red, 30, 40%. And they're just getting stacked, dilution on the top. So I get where they're coming from, but you got to understand this is like a long-term growth flywheel at this point. I mean, you can't be expecting 5 to 10%, or sorry, 5 to 10x
Yeah.
on your money, right, on your stock shares every year, right? That was
Right.
one and done. I still think that we have a 5 to 10x left in the tank for sure, but on a much larger time frame. So what they're doing is they're using shares, as this customizable vehicle where they can use those instead of cash now for a larger payoff later. They're going to need that cash eventually to scale the infrastructure to actually pay for things they can't pay for with shares. So Eric being a Wall Street guy, obviously doing it that way, which in the
Right.
short term is not something that is, great for shareholders, right? I mean, we don't like dilution. Dilution's not good, but you need to understand why they're doing it. It's good for the business, bad for the shareholder in the short term, right?
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh, dilution's good, but it's good for the business. We're going to see this expansion, and it's going to allow them to actually kind of create a nice spot in this space and be able to plant themselves and then execute on orders, right? Because the biggest issue with what's going on in the drone dominance program is you have all of these companies with like good products, but they have no way to scale and actually get them to the customer. And ONDS isn't going to have that issue with what they're doing now. It's just in the short term. I get why some people on X and whatnot are pitchforks and torches, right? Because there's two sides to it. But if you got to understand that this isn't like a short-term play anymore, right? Like if you're
Yeah.
in Ondas, you got to be ready for dilution, right? You got to be ready to deal with that because that is how they're going to expand this business and become like a defense prime here and actually internationally as well. So that's just
There's
reality.
just while we're on this, there's another side to that coin, as far as, a cohort of people that bought, $10 or higher. But there's a cohort of people who shorted it, at $9 and they're hanging on, you know what I mean? Paying those borrow fees and ultimately they don't see a profit that, even the ones that shorted it at 13, they don't get their profit until they buy. And they got to be careful if they really got some large positions and buying it all back at once. So, you know what I'm saying? We're ready for that because nobody's no real investors selling. So there is a flip side to that. I had a question the other day from a shareholder that was right to ask. What's up with all this short interest, right? And another question to ask is what's up with all this growing institutional ownership? Are they buying it just so they can turn around and loan it to these short? So whoever's shorting it, come on, man. There's there's a lot going on here.
It's very convoluted, because you'd expect if the short interest is rising that much that you'd see at least a tapering off of institutional investment. Because originally, right, there was that $1 billion offering. They got $1 billion, and then some of that short interest was definitely a synthetic hedge against their long position, which makes sense. But it's gotten now to the point where that short interest, I was kind of believing that story, that being the majority around like 25-30%, but now near 45% of the float. No, that's like an actual short attack, right? Someone, whether that be a large amount of retail investors or some other institutions, are shorting this company. They believe it's going to go down. So it's getting very interesting. Where you're getting that rise in institutional ownership and buying more shares, but also that rise in people shorting. So I think it's going to create some sort of catalyst and an explosion, right? Just because, exactly. Where it's like Chernobyl or something, right? Where
don't say the word.
I mean,
because that's that's artificial. If it goes up super fast like that, it could crash just as fast, right? So I mean, as much as I'd like to see the Bears get burnt, we had some big shareholders around the table at the shareholder meeting in May down in West Palm Beach, and we had 0 Hour Group represented there, but a couple of shareholders had some quite pointed questions to Eric about the short interest. They're concerned about it, rightfully so. Eric, his response is he didn't see any fundamental reason why they would be shorting. They got $1.5 billion on the balance sheet. it's all a story in someone's head about why they think nothing's going to happen here, and let's short it. And then the other side of that equation is just what I just brought up. They've got to buy back sometime, right? And if they're, I would think the smart ones, if they're ahead of the game, they've already locked in those short gains, and the follow along bears, the follow the leader bears, are the ones that are going to end up holding the bag when some real buying pressure shows up.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I think maybe like 5 to 10% of that number could be like retail investors, but the vast majority of that has to be institutions, just because. But then you got to wonder why. Yeah, because just the business model is looking very good. Revenue increases looking fantastic. Everything's coming together. So what institution is shorting it? I would love to know the reason why, because there has to be some thesis behind it, right? That's billions of dollars. So
well, my guess is they want to keep a bunch of covered call premium that they sold, at the tops, right? And if they don't keep shorting it, keep it down at least until they can get closer and buy those back, or let them expire worthless, then maybe at that level, JT, when you can really afford to play both sides of the fence, right?
Yeah.
It's a whole nother ball game. It's not something that if there's not fundamental reasons for the short interest, and we believe in we got conviction in the system of systems approach, and everything that Eric Brock has proven out, with the acquisitions and the stack from ground level to stratosphere, to really be a full service provider, in so many ways to the government, and then on the commercial side, just institutional level, international type presence. The only way to do that is not to just design and have one good mousetrap, right? You've got to bring the whole OEM service, support, teamwork across the world, and the only way to do that is to build it out, right? And to be able to build it out, maintain the cash on the balance sheet, keep increasing the backlog. There's a reason those institutions are buying, who cares why they're playing their games, right?
See, I just like it because if you know anything about me, when I was younger, I wanted to be a detective, right? I wanted to go like the FBI. I love the mystery, like mystery movies, thriller movies, things you have to unravel, like a plot. And it's just interesting, right? Because you have all of Wall Street, all these analysts with the average price consensus and target double the stock price right now.
Yeah.
So if they're thinking that, the experts, right? You can say maybe we're experts in some ways too. I would like to think, at least. You have to think, why is it? You think it could be like a Kramer, right? Where he's short on ONDS just because he doesn't know what it is. He didn't even care to look. But you got to think, if you're putting billions of dollars into shorts, you think you'd care to look, right? So it's just very interesting, and we won't get any definitive answer. Maybe in a few years, once everything's through and through. But yeah, it's just very interesting to think why. But enough about that. Enough about short interest. Let's actually just dive into the press release here, and kind of just see what ONDS acquired today in Iran defense.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to you read it, because that, even with the glasses, that's pretty small for me.
Yeah, when I had glasses back then, I got LASIK. I never had those cool glasses. They detach, come together.
Right. Oh yeah, man. This is the way to go. This way, if I slob or anything, it doesn't end up on my glasses. I can still see them when I put them back on.
Yeah, when we get all of our drone licenses, we're flying around. I'm about to get some FPV goggles like that. Can you imagine? They just
oh yeah. I need some meta glasses like this. Hey Mark, I hope you're listening. Right? Somebody send Mark a link.
Yeah, absolutely. Right before we break this down, appreciate everyone coming on right now. We got about 140 people here on the live stream, so appreciate all you guys. If we like to do this for free, every Sunday, every Tuesday, and then every day in between. We're actually flying out to Miami this weekend to bring you guys the Safe Pro Group Tech demo, which you need to get private invites to that. So we're doing that on our own dime, going out there to get you guys information so you can make the best investment choices for yourself. So if you like that, if you like what we're doing, please throw us a like, a restack, a share of this live stream. That really helps us out. We don't ever want to charge you guys, for your time in here, for coming to listen to us. Eventually, we'll have some like merch and stuff if you guys want to support. But for now, those likes, restack, shares are amazing. They mean the world to us. So
They're gold.
appreciate
Yeah,
y'all.
they really are. They help out a lot, folks, getting us some visibility and more eyeballs, and to offer this free content. That's the name of the game. Don't forget to tell them about Kate's Takes. It came out yesterday, JT.
You tell them about it. Yeah, let's hear it.
Right.
Let me get the link in the chat here. You tell them about the Kate's Take quick, and I'm going to put that in the chat, and then we'll start on this. Because that was a great
one. This is a part of her sit down interview with us at the Commercial Drone Alliance in DC back on July the 31st, and it was just so much good content, and we're thrilled that she's agreed to continue this as a branded segment, Kate's Takes. But this second one here, she gets into some really interesting stuff. We talk about the Gripen jet fighters, her inside of a Typhoon that's been retasked for and a Royal Air Force Typhoon retasked for fighting drones, mainly the Shaheds, I would imagine. I couldn't see them going after the little small quadcopters on the battlefield, but the ISR, the loitering munitions that can cruise around with the cameras or a payload, or those Shaheds that Russia seems to shoot, launch by the hundreds or the dozens. That experience there, man, the future of procurement, right? This came up in the Gripen discussion, that notion of the Amazon problem that the United States government's going to have with ITAR, right, and restricting technologies from being exported or falling in the wrong hands. Really important stuff there. Just a great overall, just great insights that she offers, and we're just thrilled to have her going to be offering these regular takes. But number 2 just went up yesterday afternoon, a little bit late. Already got close to 1,000 views here in less than 24 hours. She's well worth a watch or a listen on the podcast side when that gets up, folks. It's only a 20-minute bite, but man, you'll come away a whole lot smarter.
Absolutely. I mean, Kate's fantastic, great friend of the show. Just know, guys, we're making some pretty crazy connections here where we're going to bring you, I feel like we've already brought some interviews that have, blown your socks off with some of these guys, but you haven't seen nothing. You haven't seen nothing yet.
There's actually more in the can, more on the way. You're right, JT.
Yeah, I can't say anything further than that, but don't be surprised if you see us on a mainstream news network. That's all I got to say. But yeah, so check out the Kate's Take. Got it up on the screen there. It's on our YouTube. It's on our X. That should be going up on our website soon too. We got some new updates coming to the website as well, which you guys are going to love. And with that, we will get into breaking down this Aaron. I believe it's called Aaron. It's Aaron acquisition.
For a minute there,
I don't want to say Iran.
Right? Don't say that. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
For a minute there, I had to double check because I was misreading it at first. But that we interviewed the CEO Amit Ganju of ARAN or ARAN Technologies, the low altitude airspace management software company. Still private. So yeah, because of the similarity there, that's an example of the content that we've yet to publish, but it's definitely in the pipeline, folks. Anyway, I had that confused at first. I was like, whoa, hold on. That would be pretty awesome for ONDS to move into that area there of actually helping with the air traffic control and setting that standard, across the dual use military ground bases and the commercial applications. I've often wondered if the networks technology that's set for the railroad could be applied in that area, but
you gave me goosebumps there, because that's actually been something I've been thinking about too. My little under the table thesis with ONDS is we have that iron wave, right? We have the system of systems for military application, but where's our civilian wave? I think that I think we could see some civilian infrastructure for small municipalities where you have, you get this package of low altitude air traffic control. You get your Optimus systems, and you get your iron drones, right? So you get a whole thing for a small municipality where okay, DoorDash wants to come in. They can use ONDS's low altitude air traffic control, plug right in. Oh, any
Yep.
issues with hostile drones? Oh, you got Centrix coming up. Oh, you got Iron Drone coming up. I mean, you could sell this to small towns like where I live right now,
Yeah.
In rural areas where it's like, okay, there's any issue with drones, because we're going to have the sad reality is we're going to have some bad stuff happen with drones domestically eventually, right? All the regulations aren't going to stop, whether it's accident or intended attack. At some point, something bad's going to happen, and then these people are all going to wake up, and it's really sad. I get really passionate about that because it's sad that has to happen reactively instead of proactively. But at some point, there's going to be an issue, and then people wake up, and then hopefully there's something in place with some of these companies. I'm very proud of the Jacksonville Jaguars for getting that counter UAS stuff set up, and I hope my home team, the Minnesota Vikings, get that done soon too.
Right on.
But yeah,
and
I think
that's a small club, and that's the first domino, right? So we all know what happens after the first domino falls.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to happen, I think, in Florida, then Alabama, and then I think the South will adapt it first just because that's where the drone belt is, and then we're going to move up.
Yep, and all of the college stadiums, right behind that. I mean, it's all.
They got the money, right? Those NIL deals.
Season is upon us,
Yeah, and they got the money to do so. They can definitely pay for some counter UAS, and we'll see which ones they choose. Excited to cover defense stuff as well in the future with their CEO and look at their stuff with Motorola. But yeah, that's man. I love we get these topics because we'll just do a little bit of yapping for 20. And then it's like, okay, now we're gonna get into the news. Here we go. But I think that what we provide with that background is important, the perspective, and then some other ideas of what could happen. I mean, that's why you guys watch the show. You can go read the news, but you come here because you like what we have to say, or at least like our takes a little bit, or not. Maybe you come to troll. That's fun too. We like saying hi. Use the chat. We'll put you on screen if it's a reasonable comment.
Yeah.
But here we go. I'm gonna say it's Aaron. Aaron, and if someone knows how to pronounce that, let me know.
Right on.
Aaron Defense is a defense-focused division of Aaron Ltd., an established Israeli engineering and manufacturing company serving governmental customers in Israel as well as leading international defense companies. Acquisition will expand ONDS's local manufacturing and industrialization capacity in Israel to meet growing demand for autonomous defense systems. So just off the bat, I thought we'd see this happen at some point. We do know that the big thing right now is scaling your infrastructure, scaling your ability to create more drones. We knew that ONDS, took a position in things like UMAC and PW because obviously they're not making ONDS drones. They're really like ONDS components for some of their drones, but eventually maybe they will, right? There's reasons why they're investing, or maybe they just understand like us, and obviously they understand like us where the market's going. So those strategic investments make sense. I mean, right? UMAC's up a ton.
And a key pillar of Eric's strategy is that manufacturing close to the customers.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, they're probably not going to be building equipment there that's getting shipped over to Europe. Well, that's what we got Onberg, the partnership with them for, right? Or maybe even back to the States. Right? We got PDW and Unusual Machines lined up with investments there. So, I can't read Eric's mind, but that is something that he put in the announcement. Actually, his comment, I think, on X mentioned that idea once again. So it tells me we got some customers in the Middle East that don't want to pay much in shipping, but they need some equipment. Okay, we can build it right over here and truck it to you in less than a day.
Yeah, and I'm not going to swap over screens, but I do have the ONDS, earnings presentation up on the other screen, and that 2-year strategic program pipeline with the programs under pursuit, it rose from like 4 billion, I think it was, to over 11 billion, with APAC/other going from like 300,000 or something to 3.8 billion. Right. And you got to think that's not a coincidence, right?
No.
I mean, 3.8 billion is essentially the entire market cap they're pursuing in one area. That is a lot of drones, a lot of products. I mean, there's a reason they're acquiring this company because they believe they're going to be able to pursue that tenure there. And I don't see why they wouldn't, right? I feel like everyone forgot about this new bat, right? They're creating Israel's next gen drone, right? There's going to be a lot of tenure over there. They're doing the swarm stuff on their borders. It's like the writing's on the wall, and I don't even want to go back into the topic of the short interest and stuff, but it's like things are happening, right? Big things are happening. They're beating out Rafael, the defense prime in Israel. Iron Dome, anyone heard of that, right? So it's interesting. The product's there, the product's real, it's winning, and if it's winning there, we're like Ukraine and I would say Israel are some of the top drone hubs in the world for creation, just because of this flywheel of conflict, which I kind of hate to call it that, but that's what it's just constant conflict, right? So they're constantly adapting. But that means that if ONDS is winning there, Matt, I don't think it's gonna be too hard to win in Europe, right? Even I don't think it's gonna be too hard to win in the US. So it's very interesting what's going on, and that's not a coincidence, right? Why they're acquiring Aaron here. So let me get my speaker voice on, and we'll keep reading this.
Yeah, man.
And then I want your thoughts on. I'm going to read a couple paragraphs, Benny. Then I want your thoughts on it. All right, and then we'll check out their website after. An established Israeli engineering and manufacturing company, the acquisition is expected to add multidisciplinary defense engineering manufacturing operations to support local growing demand for ONDS autonomous platform solutions. The acquisition is expected to significantly expand ONDS's local manufacturing and industrialization capacity in Israel, providing dedicated engineering, integration, and production resources to support increasing demand across the company's autonomous defense businesses. Aaron Defense supports programs for governmental customers in Israel, as well as leading international defense companies. The acquisition will deepen ONDS's investment in Israel's sovereign defense industrial base, expanding domestic engineering and production capacity for critical autonomous defense systems. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. It's like we were just talking about. It's just it's the local production close to where the customers are. It not only cuts down on the shipping, but the time to delivery. It's helping out the local economy as well. My guess is that this was one of the contract manufacturers. When you need to scale up, you start looking around at other contract manufacturers. Sometimes it makes more sense to join forces with them, or hey, look, man, we've got so much work, right? That you really need to invest in some new cranes or a new loading dock, or add on to this building here. And we can help you scale up as well. I think it's super bullish, actually, that they did it in all shares. It's not even a rounding error of 3.8 million, it seems, shares, in the total pool, right? But people discount that idea. Well, why didn't he buy it? Why didn't he buy it? Well, maybe the guy selling it said he didn't. The money today ain't worth what it's going to be to him, in the future. And he doesn't want today's dollars. He wants today's shares. That's my guess anyway. I don't have any inside knowledge, but all we can go on is what we've witnessed happen over the last 18, 24 months. As Eric and company have built out this and expanded this team and integrated everything. And it's not over, folks. The demand is increasing. Seems like every other day there's more conflict, more escalation, more realization by regular folks and citizens, but also people in the government in charge with protecting assets and industry, the people that need the insurance companies, right, that have to be thinking about the risk and all, and they just can't ignore what's been going on in the Ukrainian-Russian conflict any longer. It's now being played out in a second conflict in the Middle East, and it's the way there's already other bad actors around the world. Whether it's Hezbollah in Lebanon or bad actors of any stripe, wherever you find them, they're going to be exploiting this cheap off-the-shelf drone technology to further their ends with violence, and we have to be able to defend against it on every level, militarily and in the civilian world. So with all of that happening now, I don't blame the guy for wanting shares, right? He can see the orders coming in and or the company, I should say. Shouldn't be so myopic there. But yeah, I think it's a wise choice. It'd have been the choice I would have made if ONDS comes along and wants to buy one of my companies.
Yeah, and what I'll add is, like, 'cause we're a little over 200 people now. We actually touched on this at the start of
Right
the
on.
stream. So for extra context for everyone who came in a little bit later, there'll be a recording. We actually dove immediately into the dilution, the cash versus using shares, and kind of
Yeah.
broke down why we think it, and then our thoughts on it. And then the strategy behind it. So if you want to check that out, make sure to watch the recording after. We talked about that, I'd say, for the first 10 to 15 minutes, because that's really what the talk is, right, on X, on YouTube. And it's, you know,
Reddit.
a
Oh my
valid
God, Reddit's
concern, but
drowning
we
in it.
broke it down. Oh yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, and it makes sense. And then we talked about, you know, why, you know, it's different for some people and others. But make sure you check that section out. But I totally agree, Benny, with the bad actors everywhere. And you got to think these people that are just attacking just innocent people, civilians, for no reason, just people living out their life that had nothing to do with the conflict. They're cowards, right? And if they
Yeah.
can do this from a system that's not even close to them, they're going to do that, right? Because they're
Hmm.
scared. So,
Hmm.
yeah, definitely a very, very important concern there. Um, and yeah, and then also it is, yeah, it's bullish that they're doing that there. I want to check at some point. I'll look, or maybe you can check, or Zero can check, because I believe Zero's on. What the Raphael market cap is, because I think it's kind of interesting that Ondas is displacing Raphael in some ways. Where, and I think Ondas is getting here. You know, I would say they're probably already, or they already are in Israeli defense prime, with them winning those next gen contracts. But
Hmm.
man, we'll have to see how high they can go.
Yeah.
I understand why they would want shares, you know, and like you said earlier, maybe the cash wasn't on the table. They were like, we want this for shares or nothing. Maybe they were going to charge 40, 50 million in cash, or take 30, 33 million in shares, right? Just because of where they think the stock's going. Those warrants from here are a 3x, I believe. I believe there were some $27 warrants, right? So there's some warrants that are honestly a 3x to get to those. So I think they see the writing on the wall. Maybe they got a little bit longer of a vest on their minds. I think that's
Hmm.
really what you got to focus on with ONDS too, which we talked about earlier. Was
Yeah.
no longer is this the easy 10x bagger, you know, 200 or 2,500% play in 8 months like it was. This is going to be a longer term hold with a nice payoff, right? Eventually.
Yeah.
So you got to think about that too.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, if I would not be holding this if I had 2 months till I got to take my money out. Ondas is not what I would be in, right? There's other plays that I think just are going to work. But if I had to choose a company for the next 5 years,
right.
Ondas would probably be it. That, or maybe Unusual Machines, or maybe Lightpath. I mean, honestly, any of the 7 that we cover. But
Yeah.
it's going to do well. So if people
Yeah,
are
I
kind of
don't think
worried,
you could go wrong with any of the companies that we cover.
nope.
You can find them on the website. Hey, let's talk about Safe Pro now, because
Yeah.
Wheels Up going down to Miami. This is actually going to be our first time. Well, maybe not. We were in the field in California at the ONDS technology demonstration, watching the drones fly and meeting the Ukrainian crew that came over to demonstrate. But here it is going to be a first, because they're doing part of a presentation inside in the morning, right? Going to feed us breakfast, JT. How about that? That's first class, right? And then we get on a shuttle and we're going to the proving grounds. We're going to watch the stuff that they talk about in the classroom out there on the playground. You know what I mean? And see it in action. I'm really excited about this. It's one thing to see the technology, but to watch it flying around, watch it do what it's designed to do, talk to the operators, get that feel for the sound and everything else that's the experiential part of understanding this technology. I'm really looking forward to it, and just going to be some more great content. You've got an article coming out about Safe Pro too, deep dive article, I believe.
Oh yeah. Yep, that'll be releasing about an hour after this. And apologies, I didn't realize we had been going for so long. This will be a bit longer show, because we want to touch on Safe Pro. I think there's just so much news today that we took a little
Yeah,
bit longer.
yeah.
I want to quickly just rifle off this next paragraph, because I think it's really key
Oh,
for our
sure. Yeah,
end. And
man.
then,
Sorry, didn't mean to
oh
divert you
no,
there.
no, all good. I didn't realize that we already been going this long. I was kind of long winded. But I just want, yeah, this paragraph is very interesting to me that I want to touch on, and then we'll swap over. I got actually a video for the Safe Pro Group
Yeah,
Innovation
yeah.
Tech Day.
Even with full screen, I don't stand a chance. Well, I'm all in.
I got you. Our ad defense operates approximately 4,400 square meters, so not feet, square meters of engineering and manufacturing facilities in Israel across a main facility of approximately 2,800 square meters and 2 additional facilities totaling approximately 1,600 square meters. The operation combines multidisciplinary engineering with in-house production infrastructure, amazing, including CNC turning and milling, electromechanical assembly and integration halls, cabling, classified production space, quality assurance and quality control, procurement, warehousing, tactical textiles, prototype manufacturing, 3D printing, and new product introduction capabilities. These capabilities will expand ONDS's footprint with an established sovereign Israeli industrial base that can be leveraged to increase production capacity as demand grows across its defense and autonomous systems portfolio. So yeah, very exciting. ONDS is, an American company, but I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of their business here is international. And I think they're really going to take over Europe and then the Middle East, right, in terms of production. So very exciting. Congrats to ONDS on that acquisition. And of course, to Eric and team. Very excited to hear more about that soon. And hopefully once we have Eric on the show again here, hopefully pretty soon, we'll definitely have to break that down and see what they have.
We're already talking about later in September. He's pretty busy the rest of this month traveling. We were hoping to catch him while we were down next week for the Safe Pro deal, but we're like passing planes in the night on that. So we're targeting sometime to visit with Eric in September. If not that, then definitely a dedicated interview time here on the stream live.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to that. It's unfortunate, so when we go to Florida, we usually like to touch base with Eric, but yeah, he's just, wow, he's got 10 companies under him now and 2,000 employees. So it's busy. He's a busy man. It was cool to see him in the live stream on Sunday, but yeah, we'll be seeing him soon, and we'll be touching with a couple of other guys in Florida as well. But yeah, without further ado, we got Safe Pro Group news up here. And 0 Hour Group, as Benny had said, we're wheels up. We'll be in Miami this Sunday, and we'll be attending the Safe Pro Innovation Day for their tech demo. And I'll play the video here, kind of showing off some of the technology that we might see during this event, man. Really excited for that and that free breakfast.
Yeah.
Got something free.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a good one.
Absolutely.
Fresh fruit.
Here we go, guys.
SafePro's AI-powered ecosystem of advanced computer vision software applications and tools are highly specialized for rapidly analyzing, detecting, and mapping objects of interest in drone-based imagery, supporting aerial and ground-based operations. Powered by SafePro's patented SPAI technology, the system uses AI and machine learning algorithms trained on one of the world's largest real-world drone-based imagery datasets to instantly detect and map small, hard-to-find threats. This includes landmines, cluster munitions, UXO, and ambush drones. The platform can identify more than 150 types of explosive threats and objects of interest across large-scale, high-risk environments, flexibly providing enhanced situational awareness for ground personnel and a wide array of mission types. Additional use cases include terrain shaping, layer protection, maneuverability, UGV route planning, as well as foreign object detection to ensure airfields are operationally safe. Drone-based explosive threat mapping is paving the way for enhanced force protection against new threats from ambush drones and drones emplacing mines. SafePro is delivering real-world results directly from the battlefield to protect those who protect us all. For more information on SafePro Group and its AI technology and capabilities, please visit www.safeprogroup.com.
So yeah, man, pretty cool stuff there. Obviously, definitely a use case as we're seeing. And on top of it, what I love to hear is when there's a use case and it's a software company, I'm thinking high margin, I'm thinking high revenue, I'm thinking low CapEx, I'm thinking more money in our pockets.
Yeah.
The fact that they're bought back shares already too as a small cap company, you don't hear that?
Right. Yeah. I'm hoping that they buying on back because they can see this runway and we were talking about dilution, earlier. It doesn't make much sense to buy shares back, just turn around and try and sell them again. That wouldn't send a very good signal. So yeah, for a company this small to be buying shares back, growing like they are with the revenue, these customers, they just sort of been stacking customers. And when I first, I let Eric know, actually, after that, I first reached out to SafePro in person, looking for a point of contact when at the ONDS shareholder meeting when we were in Florida last. And his response was just a simple text. Yeah, Dan, software works well, right? I mean, a great endorsement right there. Obviously it does. I'd say what I noticed watching that video too, though, two things I noticed. It's not just about the threat detection and demining after the conflict. It's about a very active process and system to be used by our warfighters and people in harm's way to help protect themselves in real time, right? As they're doing their work, going about it. And so that's the active threats, and not just sort of the leftover mines that people have forgotten about over in the farm field. The other thing I noticed, JT, was that it wasn't just about fields full of mines. I mean, I saw some footage there with the trenches. So they're training this AI software, threat detection software, across environments to learn. Because mine is a one mine at one particular shape is one particular threat, right? But right, seeing that there's a gun barrel sticking out, seeing that gun barrel is hot and being used, right? Seeing an enemy soldier's foot or outline with this AI threat detection software seems to me to be real applications that are getting smarter and smarter and more use cases all the time. So it's like I said, it's not just about removing mines from a farm field or a roadside somewhere to facilitate reconstruction. It's about real-time protection of forces so they can do their work across a multitude, I guess, any particular environment. This stuff can be trained on to help improve that threat detection.
Yeah, man. I mean, the use cases are definitely there. Demining is a huge business, and I'll actually get the article pulled up. Looks like they didn't have it on their website, which surprised me. So I'll pull it up here from Yahoo Finance. But there was a couple interesting things I saw just on this page. So this new award, obviously their market cap is 100 million. So this isn't like, the biggest deal. I believe SPAI is down today. But the fact that $180,000 includes 5 hardened GPU-powered laptop computers configured with it.
Yeah,
5 computers.
I just bought one a couple of weeks ago for $0, right?
Yeah, I mean, a computer right now with the top end NVIDIA GPU is costing you like $3,000 or something. These are $180,000 for 5 laptops.
Man, that's wonder how much RAM that thing's got. I bet it's got a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not worried. This 180,000 isn't what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is down here.
Yeah, mainly
this right here.
Oh yeah.
And this is the agriculture business. There's also, I believe, over $10 billion in demining right now. And as of June 2025, over 139,000 square kilometers of land, roughly the size of England, are considered contaminated by mines and explosive remnants of war.
Yeah,
right.
That's that acronym I couldn't remember. That ERW. That's a new one on me, but it makes a lot of sense. Some of these munitions don't explode. Some of them only partially, right? Some of the cluster bombs explode. The others are left around. There's just nasty, dirty stuff, dangerous stuff, right? Sharp, jagged, just all manner of threats that that need to be dealt with to bring life back to normal, right? Without war. And so there's a big a target-rich environment once they're done taking out targets,
Yeah, that's the main thing here is they're getting quite a bit of revenue from like the Army and things like that, buying shares back, use cases up. But I think the real catalyst for when this is like a $20 company is going to be when the Ukraine-Russian war is done, and specifically because of what I've highlighted there. Over 6 million Ukrainians live in or around these heavily mined and contaminated areas, right? And it's impacting a lot of their agriculture business. I think once this war is done and we have some peace over there, the focus won't be on fighting, needing these drones to fight. We can actually focus on building up our infrastructure, working with, in peace, getting rid of these mines to help the businesses. I bet a small piece of that could be done now, but that's obviously not the main focus over there, right? They're fighting for their very like freedom to have their country, right? This is it.
Right.
Things are bigger right now than just the demining and the agriculture business. But I think once that's over, this could be a huge catalyst for SPAI. And in the near term, they'll be doing other stuff. But it's very interesting to see that. So, man, I hope for the sake of Ukraine that this is over soon, just because this is just so. I mean, I can't believe it's still going on, right? It's been going on for so long, and it's just. I feel like it started this whole thing with all these drones and whatnot, but yeah, I'm hoping that war is over soon. It's just been going on too
well,
long.
listen, there's a whole nother aspect we haven't even brought up in terms while talking about SafePro. We're focused on obviously this threat detection software and the the demining applications and all of that is certainly exciting and good news to folks in harm's way. But they've also got a whole drone responders division. Met the CEO. It's called Drone Responders, right? Chris Todd. SafePro Group is a group of companies. And they have a very close relationship. I've been reading about. Can't wait to learn more about and bring this content to our listeners. But this whole DFR, Drone as a First Responder Service, for public safety agencies nationwide. They just put out a call for ambassadors. They're taking these products directly to the state public safety agencies, state by state. And last time I checked, that's 50 of them, man. That's a whole lot of dual use technology here. Everything from just firefighting applications and intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance stuff. That drone as a first responder, it's going to be huge. And they're already well situated to take their skills and products to market across the country. They're already doing it with Florida right now. So that's some exciting stuff there. Looking forward to learning more about that. Shout out to Chris Todd. Pleasure meeting you at the Commercial Drone Alliance in DC. Looking forward to being able to sit down with you and spend a little time, hopefully next week when we get down there for that demonstration. Very much looking forward to that, sir.
Man, it's going to be very exciting. We'll have our own 0-hour drone soon flying around, getting some footage for that. But yeah, honestly, the other thing with software is licensing, right? So what I've highlighted there, software, 3 years of annual software licensing and AI model upgrades. You want to see that with software. I mean, that's the whole reason software is very high margin and it's such a good business. Think Microsoft, right? It's because you're paying annually for a subscription. It's not a one and done. You have to keep paying licensing fees to keep that going, keep that software up to date. So that's very good for this company as well. So yeah, I mean, congratulations to SafePro Group on that contract today. And also for the 50% intraday move that we saw on Friday. 0-hour group was in.
How about that?
350. It went 50%. So I would say we're not making anyone money. Hopefully you guys, made some money off that move. Wow.
You can blame us for that one if you invested in SafePro. That's for sure. It's nice to when this idea of buying back shares, they just completed it, but it wasn't a secret, right? And that idea, the high margin software application, the necessity of what they're doing, the importance of the work that they're doing. I had a chance to meet an engineer when I was in the office last in Aventura. They're doing really important work and working hard at it. And that's that means a lot. Then to get Eric's recommendation, if he says something works well, you can take that to the bank. That's been my experience. And so very, very excited to get even deeper in our coverage and learn and get to know this company and the leadership even better than we already do.
Absolutely, man. But it was fun to be a little bit of extra content here. Went about 20 minutes over. We appreciate all 280 of you guys that came out to watch today.
Yeah.
I think right there, I mean, we got to get back to work and get ready for our trip. We're wheels up here. So everyone who came out, thanks for coming so much. We're doing this, for free for you guys. So if you can throw us that like, that favorite, that restack, that share, clip us and put them on the channel and credit us. We'd love to, if you think we have a good take on something, share it. yeah, we're here, retail investors for retail investors for you guys. So appreciate all of you. Benny, I don't know if you got anything else, but I think I'm good on the news here today. We got work to do.
I appreciate everyone's comments. Aaron, you're spot on joining the Keiretsu, this notion of companies in league pulling in the same direction, working toward the same ends and goals, each and all with their individual expertise and what they bring to the table. It's an important concept. It's a pleasure to watch develop. I'm glad everybody is joined in with us doing that. It's a whole lot of fun. I'm glad you find value in this, and looking forward to that article, JT, coming out on Safe Pro here in just a little bit. And then we've got some more content coming out from the Copen interview from last week at their technology demo. Zero, I'm cracking the whip on him, getting that ready to go live as soon as later today. Some clips on that. So.
And check out Kate's takes too. But yeah, Safe Pro Group article will be up on X and Substack here, all completely free in the next hour or so. So look out for that. And yeah, guys, have a great rest of your day. Looks like we're seeing a little bit of a rally on a couple stocks. So obviously with the bond yields, that was the other big thing today. That kind of brought stocks down, but drones are actually not doing too bad. So yeah, we'll see what the rest of the day brings, and we'll see you guys live from Florida at some point this week. Appreciate all you guys coming out, and hope you have a great rest of your day. That is
Thank you, Aaron. Yes, sir. Today. All right. See everybody later. I really appreciate all the support, love and support. Is coming back at you. Really appreciate you. And looking forward to more.
Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day.
Right on.